Benton apartment complex are still dealing with flooding issues from the heavy rains that fell across Arkansas more than a week ago. And this is not the first time they've reached out to 7 on Your Side. Emma Allen spoke with some of those tenants today, and she joins us live in our studio tonight with their story. Emma.
Well, Chris, last year in July, we were speaking to tenants at this complex about the same flooding issue. Today, tenants tell me the complex manager even prepared the tenants for the flood by buying sandbags and other items, but the amount of water that came in from the flood ended up making it through everything. Last July, Channel 7 News was at the Revive Apartments in Benton, speaking with tenants about flooding issues at the complex. Now, nearly a year later, KATV is back in the same spot after the most recent rain brought in high floodwaters once again.
It was coming so fast that you didn't have choice but to try to evacuate.
This is a video Orlando Eason and his wife, who both live at the complex, took when the water started coming into their unit and parking lot.
Man, it's crazy.
Eason says he and his family had to escape out of a bedroom window when the water started coming in. That's when he noticed the police and fire department outside, helping other people get out of their units.
The water was so deep, once we stepped out the window, it came by knee high to me, waving through it.
This is what the outside of his unit looks like now. You can see how high the water got just by looking at the leaves on the chain link fence. Eason says the complex manager has been doing everything in her power to help her tenants, like purchasing sandbags for the tenants to put outside. But ultimately, those couldn't hold back all of the water the heavy rain brought in. Eason claims the flooding issue stems from the ditch right behind his unit, which he says is owned by the city.
It stemmed from all of the city drains that's linked together, and there's one coming down this one slide here from up here on Alcola, up here on the main road.
Eason says he enjoys living at the complex when it's not flooded and just wants some kind of wall built that would keep the floodwaters out of the complex.
We'll let them build a wall. If you had a 4 or 5 foot more wall here, or either on both sides or even on this one side, a lot of these apartments will be saved. A lot of people will be out of harm's way as far as the flooding.
The Arkansas Municipal League is representing the city in this litigation. They sent me this statement. It reads, in part, quote, "The city of Benton empathizes with the tenants of Revive Apartments. However, when the apartments were initially developed, they were not in the city limits of Benton, and it was in an unmapped flood zone." They go on to say the city denies it is responsible for the flooding and says, quote, "The property owner has done nothing to step up, address the issue, or acknowledge their fault in this." On Your Side, I'm Emma Allen.
Okay, Emma, certainly something to watch there. Thank you very much. Orlando Eason tells us that he did reach out to the Red Cross, hoping for relocation fees, but his request was ultimately denied.